Okay. So let's go, guys, with the next part of this video. Today we're gonna continue with the Pokeball Render, and the first thing we need to do is we need to export all of these things into Substance, into Marmoset. Sorry. Now we're not gonna be seeing all of the Marmoset courses. We actually have a Marmoset 4 complete guide tutorial series. You probably have seen it already as well. And in that one, I go completely like super in depth about all of the things that are possible inside of Marmoset 4. Today we're just gonna be using the basic lightning properties, and we're actually gonna be creating a scene that we will be able to reutilize for several of our other chapters in this series. So I'm gonna go into a subtool, and I'm gonna say merge visible. And what this will do is it will create a single object right here, which is now combined into just one subtool instead of multiple. And the reason I want to do this is just to make it easier to go here into C plugin, hit the decimation master process, and I'm just gonna go to this preset of 150k. So what this will do is it will analyze my object and it will decimate it. It will reduce the amount of polygons until we only have 150k triangles, going all the way down from a million. Now, as you can see, we lost the materials, but that's fine. We're going to be rebuilding them inside of Marmoset. So now look at the amazing damage that we have. Isn't that cool? Like, it really looks like a damaged and used Pokeball, which is what we were going for. So now I'm going to go here and I'm going to say polygroups. Polygroups, where are you? There we go. And I'm going to say other groups so that each specific section has a different polygroup. And then on the subtool menu, I'm going to say split, group split. And this will create one single subtool for every single piece that we have right here, which shouldn't be that much different. Actually, do we have... Yeah, everything seems to be looking nice. Like, I see a couple of artifacts here and there, but I think we're fine. Now, if you want, you could render this Pokeball open or closed. Remember, we've done this before. Right now, I'm just going to keep it closed. And I'm going to go C plugin, and I'm going to go to the FBX export import. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to export all. Okay, so I'm going to export all of the subtools. I'm going to export them as an FBX, as you can see here on the tools. And let's just call this a Pokeball decimated. There we go. So it's going to go through each little element and it's going to export. And the reason why it was really important that we export it that way is because we actually want to be able to apply different materials to the objects and create a nice render. So I'm going to go to our project, of course, which, by the way, you're also going to have this. If you are having issues with the decimation process, you're also going to have all of these files. And here in the tools, we have this Pokeball decimated. We hit open, and as you can see, we have this Pokeball decimated, and we have all of the different parts inside of the element. So that's going to allow us to create, and you can actually see that we get a specific material for each part. So I don't want that. I'm going to keep it clean. So I'm just going to delete all of the materials, and let's start with a first material. So we're going to drag this on top of the object right there, and this is going to be, of course, a red material. And here we can change the roughness, which is how shiny or not it's going to be. It's probably going to be a little bit dull. I'm actually going to go a little bit darker on the red colors. There we go. And metalness, do we want this to be metal or not? I don't think so. I think we're going to keep it plastic. There we go. We get this very nice effect. And see how all of those little elements just like shine through, right? So we get that very nice destruction. Now I'm going to create another material. This is going to be the white material. It's probably just going to be like a little bit less rough. And I'm probably going to go a little bit like a beige color, just to have, you know, a little bit of a different effect. That's going to be the button as well. And finally, we're going to create one more color that's going to be right there on the ring. And this is going to be a black ring. I think this one, I do want to keep it a metallic. And I do want to have the roughness like really low, so that we can actually see. Maybe not super black. Let's go like a little bit into the gray area, so that we can see a little bit of the reflection there. Maybe a little bit less, and there we go. Look at that. Beautiful, right? Now, one quick thing, we can actually duplicate this Pokeball, move it around, and just position it in a different way. And since this is a sphere, it should be fairly easy to just create a small little composition here. So let's just push this back. There we go. Oh, careful. We always want to move the whole group together like this. There we go. Let's grab the first group again. Control D. And just move it like this. Let's rotate it. Make it point back. There we go. Something like that. Great. Now, as for the light scenario, this is probably one of the most common lighting setups that I use, and it's called the 3-point light. So I'm actually going to select all of the 3 objects right here. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to say scene, add object, and then we are going to add a shadow catcher so that we have shadows. I'm gonna go back to the sky here and bring all the brightness all the way down. I'm gonna create my first light, which is gonna be my main light. I'm gonna make the diameter a little bit bigger so that the shadow is a little bit like softer. I don't want to increase the intensity that much. And now that we have our key light, now we can bring in our secondary light, which is our bounce light, this guy right here. Let's actually bring the floor a little bit more up like this. And finally, we can go to the back part right here and add another light, which is going to be our little rim light. Just going to add that extra little punch. We're also going to make that one a little bit bigger so that we have this very nice like contact shadow here on the ground. And yeah, there we go. If you have Marvel Set 4, you can turn on this thing called Ray Tracing, which is going to give you an even more exact like preview of the whole thing. I actually want to go on this one, and let's say this is going to be like a little bit of surface scattering, so we can kind of see through it. And there we go. Look at this. We have this very nice composition. I'm actually going to go here into Scene. And I'm gonna say, or sorry, view, show guide, so that we don't see the shadow catcher. And look at that, ain't those Pokeballs pretty? So if this is the first exercise you've ever done for a hard surface inside of ZBrush, well, you can see the power of it. Like, we didn't have to go into Maya or Blender or any other package. We can do everything inside of ZBrush, and we can create something that looks like a very nice composition. Compare these ones to the ones I showed you before in my first Pokeball attempt, and in just under an hour, we were able to create this amazing render. So this is level 1, guys. This is chapter 1. Hopefully you guys like this first chapter. In the next couple of chapters, as I've mentioned, we're going to be going into more complicated stuffs. So the next one's going to be a revolver. We're going to be modeling a complete revolver inside of ZBrush using all of our tools. So hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.